Hi, welcome. A new week. We have made it officially to February. I don't know about you, but January this year really dragged on. So well done. Well done for hanging in there, for making it through January, the darkest, in my opinion, most depressing month of the year. So now we are in February. And yeah, the sun is out a little bit. You can see kind of coming in through the windows. The daffodils are starting to peek their heads out of the ground. So I'm feeling quite positive that, better weather, warmer weather, more light is on the way. Well, positive, it's just normal seasonal changes, but it's coming. And of course, that will have also a good effect on our mood and our energy levels. So for today's session it's just going to be a nice all-round session. We're going to work our way from the top of the head all the way down to the toes to mobilize, find a little bit of just activation, getting some blood flowing, and also a little bit of strength, because that's also very important. So you don't need any particular props, but make sure you sit nice and comfortably. You have maybe something under your feet, so your legs are at a good height. So my legs are, ideally we want the legs at a 90-degree angle. If your legs are too short or too long, you can either lift your chair up a little bit or pop something under your feet to bring the feet a little bit away from the floor. So being comfortable is important. Make sure you're warm enough, you've got something to drink if you would like to. And if you can, let's see if we can, as always, just hide away any distractions for the next half an hour or so that we have together. And I'm going to check the time that we are sticking to, half an hour for this session. Let's see if I succeed towards the end. So distractions, there are many around us. If you are, since most of us are living in a busy city, there's traffic, there's neighbors, there's dogs, there's children. So there's not much we can do about that, but there's also distractions inside of our house, like the phone, especially our mobile phones, that we might be able to turn off, switch on to silent, closing any doors, any windows, turning off the radio, the TV, just for half an hour, so you can create that little space for yourself. And I've talked about this before, but if there's certain rituals that help you to get into that yoga frame of mind, then that's a really lovely practice to cultivate. So some people like to light a candle, some people like to make some special herbal tea, some people like to bring their favorite cushions, pillows, blankets with them. Any of that goes, whatever works for you. And of course, if you don't have any rituals, that's okay too. Our chair yoga session is for everyone, anyone, rituals or not. All right then. So with this, let's get comfortable. If you're not doing so yet, come and sit right back on your chair and allow the whole spine to melt into the chair. Roll the shoulders up, back and down a few times, and maybe give the head a gentle little shake from side to side. And as you do that, move your jaw, swallow a couple of times so we notice or can get rid of any tension that we're holding there. Push the feet away from the body, and if you feel comfortable, bring the palms facing upwards on your lap. So just a bit more of a receiving, open gesture that also allows the shoulders to sink away from the ears a little bit more. And then let your belly go soft. So let your belly get really squishy and allow the eyes to close, or take a gaze at a point that's not moving. And let's take a long breath in through the nose. Open the mouth wide, side out. Let's do that again. Long breath in. Open the mouth and side out. One more time, inhaling deeply. And sigh. Let that go. And then allow the breath just to get back to whatever rhythm feels good for you. And take a moment to arrive in your space, arriving in your body. Notice where your mind is at to start with. Does your mind feel calm, or does it feel a bit flustered? Maybe it feels a bit like a monkey jumping from tree to tree, from branch to branch. The mind is conditioned for a lifetime to be busy, to solve problems. And that's okay, that's not a bad thing. But now let's see if we can just observe these thoughts for a moment, those to-do lists, those things you feel like you should or shouldn't have done today. And then bring the awareness down on your breath. It is almost impossible to stop your mind from doing what it's doing. Even if you're not aware of it, your mind will be working. So what we can do instead in our yoga practice is we direct our active awareness at something else. And the most obvious thing is our breath. So just begin to observe the breath. You notice almost like a naughty puppy that doesn't want to come and sit still. You might have to keep inviting the mind back again and again. Let's just begin to observe the movements in the body. So the gentle movements as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Noticing if the speed, how the breath feels. So is the speed of the breath slow? Is it fast? Letting go of any need to control the breath. So just breathe in whatever way feels good for you. Noticing the depth of your breath. And then coming back to that movement in the body. So the movement that's generated as you inhale and as you exhale. So the sense of rising, of growing as you breathe in. And then a release, a softening as you breathe out. Let's observe that for another 3 or 4 rounds. If the mind wanders off, don't worry, just bring it back. And gradually, in your own time, deepening the breath slightly. So just taking in a little bit more air into the body. Let's do another 2 rounds of that. So breathing in a little bit more deeply. And then on your next inhale, bring a little wriggle into your fingers and your toes. And if you feel ready for it, we can begin to extend the fingertips away from the body. Maybe just let them rest on your knees, or maybe your hands feel ready to find a bigger stretch, reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. And then stretch in whatever way feels good for your body right now. Always listening to what feels good for you. So any movements that are suggestive, they don't work for you today, just let them be. You can skip a posture, you can modify. And then release the palms back down onto your lap, back into our starting position. The eyes can still be closed here. As we next exhale, we allow the chin to roll down to the chest. So the chin falls down towards the chest and the back of the neck can lengthen. Let's take a few moments here. Allowing the back of the head to sink down further and further. Notice that takes a moment here. And then let's add some movement. So very slowly draw your chin over towards your right shoulder. Gentle sweeping motion towards the right. Exhale back to center. Inhale, let the head still be heavy. Draw the chin over to the left shoulder. And then exhale back down. So we're kind of drawing a shape of a half moon. Inhaling, bring the chin over to the opposite shoulder. Exhale to center. And then one more time. Draw the chin over towards your left shoulder. Back to center, and then slowly, slowly uncurling through the spine here. Notice how that feels. So the eyes are still closed. How are your shoulders feeling right now? So shoulders is one of those places in the body where we can feel tension, anxiety, stress, worries, where we can feel it immediately. So going really slowly, opening into this part of the body. Maybe still with the eyes closed, or you can take a gentle gaze, draw the chin over towards the right, and then back to center. So now we're shaking our head very slowly from side to side. Good. Notice if there's one side that feels tighter than the other. Good. Making this your last one. And then back to center. Good. You can blink the eyes open, take a little peek now. I'm going to take one more shoulder opening exercise. Allow the right ear to fall down towards the right shoulder. Let the head be heavy. So letting it be heavy. We're still sitting up nice and straight. We've not started to lean over in one way. And then we can layer onto this stretch if it doesn't feel quite enough for you. If this is plenty for you, and it might be, this is quite strong for some of us, especially if you hold a lot of tension in your neck. If you want a little bit more, we can extend the left fingertips down towards the earth. Just reach them away gently. As far as it feels good. So for me, the more I reach, the more I can feel that stretch for the whole arm as the nerves in our shoulders are getting a little bit of a teasing, a little bit of a wake-up call. And if that's still not quite enough for you, you can begin to draw the chin over towards your right shoulder and maybe begin to draw some little circles with your chin. So imagine you're trying to draw a circle with a pencil that's attached to your chin onto your jumper or your top that you're wearing. Change direction if you're doing the little circle motion. And then release back to center, draw the left arm back to center, and curling again into an upright position. And just notice how that shoulder feels now compared to the opposite shoulder. I might feel a bit more open, a bit more awake. Let's swap sides. Left ear falls down to the left shoulder. And then again, take a few moments. So if you're right-handed, this is going to be the harder side for you. This is going to be the side that feels a lot stiffer. So just be gentle here. Allow yourself to arrive at this stretch. So we're still soft here through the belly. We don't have to hold any tension. Good. Taking just a few more breaths. And then we can again layer onto this stretch if you want to, extending the right fingertips down to the floor, reaching, reaching, reaching. And taking those few moments, the more you reach, the stronger the sensation might get. And as a final layer, we can draw the chin over towards the left shoulder and begin to draw some little circles. But only do so if that makes you feel like you're creating space. As soon as you feel that you are restricting space, let's back off. Change direction if you're drawing those little circles with your chin. Good. And then release, draw the chin back to center, right down back onto your lap, uncurling, coming back into an upright position, draw the shoulders up to the ears and back and down. Give the shoulders a little shake. Hopefully our head to chest body feels a little bit more awake. So now is the time if you want to shuffle yourself a little bit away from the back of the chair. So we're no longer relying on the back of our chair to stay upright. Instead, we're using our center, our core. So there's a little lift through your center. So the lower belly draws slightly back towards the spine and we're lifting the pelvic floor up a little bit, just a little bit. We're looking for an activation here. Nothing more than that. Good. Roll the shoulders back and down, sitting nice and upright. Release the fingertips, inhaling, reach the arms up, growing tall. Exhaling, draw them down through heart center. So we're gradually going to deepen those movements, bringing bigger movements into the body. Exhaling, bring them down. Let's do it one more time. Inhaling, open the arms wide. Exhale, draw the palms down. Inhaling next, push the palms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, release your left arm down onto the left knee. Right arm reaches high. And as you exhale, we sink over towards the left side body stretch. Let's sway here. Inhaling to center. Exhale, reach it over to the side. So opening for the whole right side of the body. One more time. And exhale. Good. If it feels all right, you can hold here If that's too strong for your shoulders, you can also lower the arm. See what works for you. Check that you're not allowing yourself to sink over to the side too much. Imagine there's suction cups on your sitting bones. I love that visualization. That makes me sit up a little bit more. And then inhaling and exhale, release. Whew, good. Letting any heat drain out of that right shoulder. And then swapping sides. Reach the palms up to the ceiling. Grow tall. Exhaling, right arm reaches down onto your right leg. For stability, reach the left arm high. Exhale, sink it over. Let's sway a few times. Inhale and exhale. Imagine remembering those suction cups on your left sitting bones this time. And then one more time, sink it over. And then hold it there or come back to center. You can lower the arm if that's better for you. Breathe deeply into the left side of the rib cage. Really opening the space here, making space for our lungs, for our breath. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, release the arms. And shake it out. Let that go. Good. Release the hands down onto your knees. Let's move a little bit for flexion and extension, so rounding and opening the spine. So next inhale, we're going to move sideways. We're going to draw the chest forward, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, round the spine. Inhaling, slowly come forward, reach the heart forwards. Exhale to round. Good. Let's do a few more times. Good. Inhaling to reach. And then rounding. You can go again as far forward and back as it feels good in your body. Any movement here, anything that brings our spine into flexion and extension is going to be great to just help our mobility and build a bit of energy. Last time, inhaling, reach the chest forward. And then exhale back into neutral spine. Checking that we're still sitting up nice and straight. Activation through the center. So imagine we are sitting nice and controlled here. So as if there's a little string attached to the crown of the head that's drawing the head up to the ceiling. Good. That visualization works for me usually as well. Good. We've done almost the whole spine. The last thing that's missing is twists. Then we have moved our spine into all direction. So bring your right hand over onto the left knee, the left arm behind you, lift and lengthen the spine, and then exhale, little rotation over towards the left. Inhaling back to center. So just swaying in and out of that movement. Exhaling into the twist. Let's do two more. As we inhale, we release. As we exhale, we twist a bit more because as we exhale, the lungs are empty. There's more space to move. Last time. And gentle twist. Inhaling back into center. Swap sides, bringing your left hand over onto the right knee. God, check me out with my lefts and rights today. Nailing it. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, gentle twist over towards the right. Good, a few more like this. And really allow your body to be the guide. So maybe even close your eyes. You don't need to watch what I'm doing. My body feels probably different to your body today. And especially with twists, we want to listen to ourselves. Frankly, with any posture, we want to make sure we don't push into any discomfort. So make this your last one. Gentle twist over to the side. Good, and then inhaling back to center. And exhale, bring the hands down onto your hands are down onto your knees, shrug the shoulders back and down. So this little spinal mobilization is really great if you especially have any issues with your back, lower back. So if you're short on time or you just don't want to do a full session every time, even just those few little movements. So our cat, our cow, the side stretches, and the twist, if you do that in the morning, that's going to give you that lovely boost of energy and just help the spine to feel a bit looser, ready for the day. Okay, lecture over. So we've worked a little bit on the upper part of the body. Now it's time to work towards our legs. And as always, we're going to warm up our calf muscles by starting to walk on the spot. So we're reaching up the left heel and the right heel, just going for a little wander. And the sun is beautifully streaming in today. What a treat. Those of you that live nearby, I mean, you've had to endure this weather over the past week. We've had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of gray skies. So having a bit of sunshine coming through the windows feels lovely. Good. So we're still walking, On my recent walk in Greenwich Park, I've noticed that the daffodils are starting to peek out. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think most of you probably have been to Greenwich Park when the daffodils are out and it's just fields and fields of yellow flowers. It's really beautiful. So yeah, something to look forward to there. Good. All right, that's probably about enough walking on the spot. The next thing we're going to do is warm up our toes. So I'm going to take my socks off. Luckily, you're far enough away from my feet, so you don't have to look at them too closely. Good. So I'm going to spread the feet really nice and wide. And luckily, my feet are really pasty. So that's a good contrast here between the blanket and the floor. You might not be able to see it fully. That's okay. I'm definitely not going to move my feet closer to the camera. We're just going to bring a little bit of movement into our toes. Our feet have surprisingly many joints and bones. I think it's 33 bones in each foot, which is crazy, isn't it? And each of these bones, where they meet, there's a joint, and these joints, they need movement as well. The feet are the foundation of, in a way, our house, which is our body. And so we need to keep them nice and active and fit. And that can really help with things like balance as well. So if you're struggling with that, and I certainly do, let's look down to our feet. And we're going to start by keeping the feet grounded. So imagine the feet have four corners. So at the base of the big toe, at the base of the little toe, and at both edges of our heels. So we're going to keep the feet grounded, but we're going to lift all 10 toes away from the floor. And notice if that has started to make your feet roll in or roll out. Again, imagine suction cups on those four corners of the feet, grounding them down into the floor. The toes are lifted and then soften them down. You can notice the difference here between the feet being relaxed and the toes lifted in the arches of the feet. So if it's in reach, what is quite interesting is just to reach down, put your hands underneath the arch of your foot, grounding through your feet, and then lift the toes. And you can really feel that switch on through the feet. Good. Now, all 10 toes are lifted. This time, let's lower the big toe down to the floor, but keep the rest of the toes lifted. And I'm using my fingers here as well for extra visualization. Inhaling, lift the big toes. Exhale, ground through the little toes. Inhaling, lift through the little toes. Let's do that again. Down through the big toes. Lifting the big toes. Ground through the little toes. Okay, now inhale, lift all 10 toes. Now let's ground through the big toe and the little toe, but see if you can keep the middle toes lifted. And I can tell I haven't been doing my toe exercise because this is getting really hard for me. So this is all about practice. So if your toes are not moving at all right now, it's okay. They will eventually. Maybe look down to your toes and then release and walk out the feet. Okay, we haven't done this for a while. This is usually a classic when we used to be able to meet in person. Don't worry, we will again. We will do our toe gymnastics in person. Let's do it one more time. So ground through the four corners of the feet, lift the toes, and then let's lower the big toe. A little bit faster this time. Inhaling, lift the big toe. Exhale through the little toe. Inhaling, lift the little toe. Now ground for the big toe and the little toe. If this makes your feet cramp, by the way, then ease off. We don't need to push our body that far. Now lift all 10 toes. And if you can you lower the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, but keep the big toe and the little toe lifted. And then soften the feet, release, walk it out. Let it go. And your toes may have moved or they may have absolutely not cooperated at all. And that's okay too. It does take a little bit of time. If you think about it, when was the last time that you have paid your toes active attention? Poor neglected toes, they just want a little bit of attention. And the more we do this, the more we are going to help to reestablish those neural pathways. So the nerves basically moving between our head and our toes, activating the movement. Good. Well, you can tell it's still not summer out there. I'm putting my socks back on. Good. So we've warmed up through the feet. Let's add a little bit more here. Slide your hands behind your left leg. Come into the ball of the left foot. And let's still check that we're sitting up nice and straight. Roll the shoulders back and down, take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw the knee up into the chest. And this is where you might stay. And that's okay too. If you want a bit more, we can extend that left leg away from the body and just begin to point and flex the toes. So you can do this even in this position, pointing and flexing. All we're doing is mobilizing a little bit more through the feet. Good. Pointing and flexing, feeling That sensation, check that you haven't started leaning back. So we haven't started doing this. We're still sitting up nice and straight. And then draw a couple of circles with your toes, big toe circles one way and the other way. Lovely. Good, and then hug the knee back into the body and release the foot down. Let's swap sides. So hands behind your right leg onto the ball of the right foot. Shrug the shoulders up, back and down. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, knee up into the body. Hold it here for an inhale. And exhale. Your choice. If you want to, we can extend the leg forward a bit more, pointing and flexing. The toes, feeling the stretch at the front of the foot, the back of the foot. And again, you can do this also with the leg just back into the body. Okay. And let's begin to rotate. So draw some big circles going one way. You might find some nice clicking sounds here. That's okay. Change direction, move the other way. And then hug the knee back into the body. And exhale, lower the foot down. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. And then walk out the feet a few more times. Good. So for today, I want to add a little bit of a strength exercise for our thighs and for our glutes. So the muscles at the back of the body, the glutes are the biggest muscle in the body, if I'm not mistaken. And they're also very lazy muscles. So sometimes we just need a little bit of a wake-up call to start working. And they're very important for stability of our hips and also to support our lower back. So we're going to move for a couple of rounds of modified chair posture. And we're not actually going to fully stand up, but the sensation that we're looking for is that as if we're trying to stand up. For this, I'm going to move my chair sideways. I have no water on the floor, so that's always a good thing to check, so you can see a little bit more. So I am on a blanket, which is definitely a trip or slip hazard. So I'm going to move that out of the way and place my feet onto solid ground. I'm going to shuffle forwards on that chair as far as I can, grabbing hold of the side of my chair. If you have arms on your chair, this is also a good place to be. Draw the feet back a little bit. So it's as if we're trying to stand up, but we're not quite. Okay, take an inhale here. And as you exhale, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips away, lifting the bum just a few inches off the chair, and then exhale, lower back down. Whew, good. So you might feel that this is quite a lot of effort because all of a sudden, our entire body weight is carried by our legs here, by the glutes, by the thighs, by the knees. This is quite sore in your knees. Walk the feet forward a little bit more. Leaning forward, take an inhale. Exhale, press the feet into the floor. Press the floor away. Lift the hips slightly. Exhale to lower. Good. We don't even have to lift the hips here to get that activation of the muscles, by the way. You can even just stay on the floor and pretend you're standing up, especially if you're feeling a bit wobbly today. That's a good option. If not, let's do a few more. Take an inhale. Exhale, press the floor away. Inhale, sit it down. Exhale, press the floor away. Inhale, sitting down. Isn't this fun? Let's do 4 more. Exhale. And inhale to lower. 3 more. Exhale. And inhale. 2 more. Why did I say 4? Exhale to lower. And then last one with a smile on your face if you can. Exhale, lower down. Oh, and give your thighs a good squeeze and a good rub. Let that go. All right, then. Let me move back forwards. Let's make sure I'm still straight. Good. And let's stretch out those poor legs a little bit. So keep your left leg where it is and extend your right leg away from the body. I'm going to move backwards a bit more to make sure I'm still in view here of the camera. So the left leg points away from the body. And I'm going to flex the right leg, moves away from the body. I'm going to flex the right leg back towards my face. And this might be enough to give you quite a good stretch here. If you want a little bit more, we can go further. Keep your left hand on your left knee, inhaling the right arm reaches high. And as you exhale, we're going to sink forwards and down towards our right toes. Now the toes are probably out of reach. That's okay. Let's lower the hand wherever it reaches to. And then sink the body forwards and down. You can even come onto your left forearm here and let the head get heavy. So we're looking for a stretch running down the back of the extended leg. Keeping that arm there.
You might notice after a few moments you can maybe creep those right fingertips a little bit closer towards your toes. Maybe yes, maybe no. Give the head a little shake, swallow a couple of times, checking that there's no tension in our jaw. Allow the breath to flow. And then slowly slide the arm back up the leg. Maybe give the knee a little helping hand to bring it into the body. And then swapping sides. So left leg extends out. So there's a slight angle here with the left leg. Flex the left toes back towards your face if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, you can keep your toes pointed. Inhaling, reaching the left fingertips away. And exhale, sink them over towards your left toes, staying on your left arm or bringing your body weight down onto your right forearm. Reaching away with the left arm. I almost made it without getting my lefts and rights mixed up today. Good. And let's notice if there's a difference between the sides. There maybe this side feels easier, maybe this side feels harder. And then slowly draw the arm back up the leg. Give the knee a little helping hand. Bring the leg into the body and let's take a forward fold to release the lower back here. So bring your forearms down onto the knees and let the head sink down. If you want a bit more, you can release the fingertips all the way down to the floor, giving the head a little shake from side to side. Soften the jaw, breathe in deeply. And then slow breath out. Inhaling again. And exhale. Good. And then walk the hands back up. Your knees come into a nice upright position. Walk the feet back together. Find a comfortable seat. So we're going to move into our relaxation now. If you are feeling quite energetic today and you would like to do a few rounds of sun salutations, bring them in now. Maybe put this video on pause for a few moments. Take your sun salutations and you can join us for relaxation. If you're ready for some relaxation, then come and sit back on your chair. So moving all the way to the back, push the feet away from the body, palms facing upright towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, close the eyes, soften the belly. And let's take a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhale, side out. Two more like that, inhale. And side out. One more. And on that exhale, let yourself get heavy. Allow everything just to soften, letting go of any muscular effort you're holding. And just notice how the body feels for a moment. How the body feels compared to how it did half an hour ago when we started our session. Maybe you can notice a difference. Maybe it feels similar. That's okay too. Bringing the mind, the awareness back to your breath. And let's come back to observing that movement in the body. So as we are inhaling, drawing the air into the body, down into the belly. And as we exhale, that sense of releasing. Inhaling. And exhale, releasing. Let's follow that with our mind's eye for a few more rounds. And don't worry if the mind gets distracted, it wanders. Just bring the awareness back when you're ready. And gradually moving the awareness down the body into the sole of your right foot, releasing the top of the right foot, right toes, ankle, lower leg, right knee, right upper leg, and the right side of the hip. Softening through the sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left toes, ankle, lower leg, left knee, left upper leg, and the left side of the hip. Soften the belly, releasing into the lower back, middle back, upper back, into the right shoulder, right upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the right hand, palm of the right hand, right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Release across the chest into the left shoulder, left upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the left hand, palm of the left hand, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Soften all the way up the neck to the base of the skull. Release the jaw, your tongue, cheeks, nose, eyes, and forehead. And for the next few moments, allow yourself to rest here. The body to be soft but present. And the mind also staying with your breath. Very slowly, without moving or changing, begin to take a few deeper breaths into your body. And without any rush, bringing in gradually more and more breath, waking up the body from the inside. Let's take two more together here, inhaling deeply and exhale. And one more, inhaling and exhale with a sigh. And then bring some movements into your fingers and your toes. And as you next inhale, reach the fingertips away from the body. Find a stretch in whatever way feels good for you. Waking up the body, ready for a beautiful rest of the day ahead of you. Draw the palms down. Release them in front of heart center in our Anjali Mudra, a hand gesture signifying kindness and compassion towards ourselves, but also towards each other. Take a moment of gratitude towards yourself for making the effort today, practicing putting this time aside for yourself, honoring that our bodies and of course each other. Find a gentle bow of the head towards your heart. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling all right. I hope the sun is shining wherever you are or whenever you're taking this session. And if it's not, don't worry, it will be back soon. Now, I've got some news for you, which may be obvious
to some of you, those of you with eagle eyes. So I am expecting baby number two this summer, which you may have noticed based on the bulging amount going on in my belly. It's not just the many mince pies I've had over Christmas. So yeah, I'm expecting a little girl, not until the summer. So don't you worry, we have got plenty of virtual, but also hopefully in person yoga sessions to go before our next little addition to the yoga family arrives. So yeah, luckily I'm at the point now where I'm not feeling very sick anymore. I definitely did feel very, very sick for a very long time. I have to say it's not much fun growing a baby sometimes. But yeah, I'm feeling better now. And yeah, so now that you know, I don't have to suck in my belly anymore. No, I'm just joking. I haven't done that anyway. But I wanted to let you know, and I'm also, of course, going to send you guys a quick email to let you know. And yeah, I hope you're doing all right now, and you have a lovely day. And I'll see you guys again next week. Bye bye.